Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Well, happy hump day. Last couple of days, a number of things happened that taught me two important life lessons. So this past week, I got another big surge of motivation to continue working on my AI for the game of Ticket to Ride. I finally had a few people play the game with me, and so I got excited, and I started programming the AI for the Legendary Asia version of Ticket to Ride. And I named this rendition, I named it E-Moscovium, because Moscow is on the map of the Legendary Asia version. So right now I have E-Polonium, E-Germanium, and now E-Moscovium, and E-Americium, obviously, for the America edition. So 4 different Ticket to Rides now. But unfortunately, I got into a little bit of drama doing it. So last night, I pulled an all-nighter doing the Ticket to Ride, and I consume a lot of caffeine. It's hard to believe it, but I consume enough caffeine to kill 2 or 3 people, and I have a huge tolerance to it, obviously. I drink a lot of coffee, and not only do I drink coffee, but sometimes in between the drinks, I also just straight up eat coffee powder, if you could believe it. And when I did the calculation, it's enough caffeine to kill 2 or 3 people my size, if they never did caffeine before, obviously, right? And I thought I had a good night, but this morning, as I log into work, I realized that last night, I discovered, to my disbelief, that last night while I was high on caffeine, I had written some, we have at the college where I teach, we have this portal where students can upload messages and stuff like that. I made a few responses that were a little bit off in terms of my the attitude in which I took with the students was a little bit off, and I had to go back and correct that. And it just goes to show how limited our resources are, right? Whether they be time, whether they be energy. See, every hour that you spend high on caffeine is an hour you can't spend sober, and vice versa, right? Some of the biggest creativities, and some of the best games I ever wrote, some of the best bismuth crystals I've ever poured, I can only do that when I'm high, and unfortunately, that comes at other costs, right? Now, I was at an art show in Tucson earlier this week, and Tucson's about a 2-3 hour drive away. And so after the show, I spent the night sleeping in my car, and I didn't realize they were doing some street cleaning, and some guy came to wake me up, and some security guard came to wake me up, and as I'm talking to him, I got angry at him because he had the audacity. I was going to move my car, don't get me wrong, that part's fine. But he had the audacity of wanting me to open my window, and it's freezing over there, and you know, because of my art projects, you know, money sometimes is a little bit tight. I didn't want to have to keep my engine running again for however many minutes to get the car warmed up, and I kind of got upset at him, and it didn't go very well, let's put it that way. And I was going to move my car, I just didn't need to open my window. And he insisted on pounding on my window, and I almost dragged him away with my car because he needed me to open the window so badly. And so when I got to my new parking spot, I couldn't sleep after that. I was prepared to answer to people who need me to move my car. I mean, as somebody who has lived out of my car for many, many, many years, I prepare for stuff like that. I just didn't prepare for the exact way it was going to happen. And it goes to show that when we prepare for calamities, right? So a lot of my viewers invest in precious metals. You can't really time the market. So many people want to time the right time to buy silver, buy gold, buy bismuth, or some of the other precious metals, and time in the market is a lot more important than timing the market, right? So right now, as I speak, this is something that I got to work on. I'm driving a Kia Forte, and it's approaching 200,000 miles, and it could die any day, right? So I can't say that I'm always well prepared for, you know, today I head out if the car dies, right? I gotta recognize that even though I'm preparing for the car to die at some point, I can't predict when exactly it will happen, and to always be ready for it. Similarly, if you're just starting out investing in gold and silver, it's a lot better to be prepared than to try to prepare at the right time, right? Just like I tried to prepare for, you know, having to answer to people, but I didn't anticipate it to happen in the dead of winter, you know, several inches of snow, and somebody insisting not only do I move my car, but in the way he wanted me to do it, and all that. I'll probably see if I can find out about the organization involved that I dealt with the other night, and send an email to apologize and say, you know, hey, it's cold, you know, and I'm not very well off. I didn't want to have to run my car, something to that effect. Didn't mean to almost scare the crap out of him. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.